painful to watch, but it's not great.
It was a sweet moment, but it was preceded by a poop joke.
Do you think she just stumbled onto the set and they started rolling?
What is it with guys and fireworks? This movie has so many problems.
Well, let's talk about the problems for the 2020 hit holiday film, The Holidate, starring Emma Roberts and
Luke Bracey.
Luke Bracey, famous from probably some Hallmark movie.
Nope, he's famous from the remake of Point Break.
But we're not here to talk about Point Break. We're here to talk about one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
So, as tradition that we've done here of pitching this movie without spoiling it with anyone, you're trying to get someone to watch it. So you can't just say how bad it is. A part of me is tempted to say, so you got two characters who are both absolutely unlikable and somehow throughout the course of the film fall in love?
Two people unlucky in love create a deal to not be alone on the holidays.
Right.
And hijinks ensue.
Right, so that's the idea of the holiday, is that every holiday that happens, if they don't have a date, they will be their go-to date, even though they don't like each other. But they're so tired of being alone on the holidays due to social stigmas that they will be fake dates for the holidays.
I would say you have two people who... Ooh, I froze! Hold on. I'll come back in a second.
It's a good freeze. I like it.
Yeah, I think all I could ever say to someone about this movie it's hey, two single people tired of being the single people and not having someone there at events for holidays, so they make a deal to be each other's date if they don't have a date on a holiday.
Yeah, well, so one nice thing that I can say about it is that it is an interesting and sort of new concept, and it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like this movie is like a rough draft that got made. Mm-hmm. Instead of being refined.
Yeah, no, because the worst to me...
There are little nuggets in there that I'm like, this is actually good.
Yeah.
It's a great concept.
Redeemable moments.
I think the problem I have with it is that these characters, you only ever see them on the holiday. And you don't see their characters ever develop because they're always just angry to be
You
with
only
each
see
other.
them together on the holiday.
Right.
So that's when their chemistry develops, and when they're with their families and stuff, it's like the in-between time when they're just talking about each other.
Right.
They never talk about like anything else.
The one thing I remember that I really enjoyed, which again is where this movie fell flat to me, was that it introduced, like Doug said, it introduced an interesting concept into this genre. I feel like this movie started as one thing, and then like some executive got a hold of the script and was like, oh no, you see, the kids like romance, you gotta change it to this. And then like they did, and it just fell apart.
The movie is like starts talking about romantic comedies. I was just like, oh, this movie's getting meta. That's kind of interesting. It's kind of looking back on the genre. It's just like, oh, this could be interesting. Oh no, it just goes the same way. Okay, never mind then.
What I disliked about it too is like, so you have the first scene with the guy, which is just a bizarre way to open your movie. And
you can't even think about that scene.
Oh, you mean the one where he goes over to his date's house with the family?
Yes.
Yeah, that is.
So it's a bizarre way to open your movie. It's not. I mean, it's rated PG-13.
It is?
I think so.
Oh my God! No,
it
it
rated
can't.
It's a Netflix film.
Oh wait, it's Netflix. So it doesn't matter.
I don't know if it has a rating.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
It might just be like rated
I don't know
M.
if Netflix.
It's not rated.
Netflix.
Okay.
It's not rated.
Yeah, I don't think Netflix has to follow the MPAA.
There are things
I don't think so.
I'm like, oh no.
Shane, I loved getting because you had just watched this for the first time, and I loved getting your messages the other night of being like, some of the lines that were said in this movie, some of the dialogue that was said.
There's some dialogue in this that are. Whew,
don't watch this with your parents. We'll just say that.
Shakespeare.
The dialogue in this movie like there's points of it where it's like, is this written by a 12-year-old boy? And then it's like, is this written by like a girl that just got broken up by an asshole? Like when the guy talks, I'm like, that's how a 12-year-old talks. And when the women talk to each other, I'm like, who says stuff like that?
Right.
Yeah.
No.
This line is uttered, what, 10 minutes into the movie, I think? Which is,
Oh, is it? We should probably. There's a vulgar warning.
Oh, yeah.
Cover your ears if you.
Cover your ears. Once this line was uttered, I was just like, well, I guess this is the movie we're in for. Which is, you know me well enough to my mouth, but not enough to get me a Christmas present.
Like I said, it opens like an American Pie movie.
And when I heard that, I was just like, I'm sorry, what did she say? What happened?
But again, this is the problem with this movie, is it's not consistent.
It feels like there's 2 movies in there.
Yeah.
Like, there were 2 movies written, and they got peanut butter in their chocolate kind of deal, where it's like what is going on? Because it opens with like that dirty humor, and then there's like the heartwarming rom-com moments where it's like those 2 channels can cross, but they need to actually mesh with each other somehow,
Right.
And they don't in this movie.
And that's like another problem. And that's like another problem I have with like it only being on the holidays and they see each other, because it's like one holiday is sincere and then the next holiday is raunchy.
Cinco de
And
Mayo.
then it's like, well, also that too. There's like holidays that you don't really need to bring a date to.
Every time they're on these holidays, it felt very forced. Like, if we had seen any other scene with them, I mean, the only scene that I'm remembering that we kind of got that sentiment was when he blew up his hand.
There's one more holiday where you see it, and it's very minimal. It's Halloween, when she nearly poops herself. Or she does poop herself.
She poops herself, yes.
He showers her in the bathtub, and it's a very sweet. It's
okay.
a very sweet, endearing moment. And it's like the moment that you're supposed to be like, I want them to get together, but it's also like, it just happened after a big poop joke.
Like, did she have
That's
to
the other
poop
problem.
That's
herself?
the problem. It goes
Exactly,
from
that's the
raunchy to
problem.
sincere.
Like honestly, what they want is, this is like, if I had to put this whole movie, like if I had to like create a scene with this movie, it would be like, imagine your favorite candlelit dinner, but the candelabras are dildos. Isn't it funny? You're like, why? You don't need to do it.
I want to ask the person that wrote the movie, like, did you intend to have, like, what movie did you originally write, and what did executives and directors add to it, if anything? Like, was this the movie that you set out to make, or did the directors and the producers add these things that kind of ruined it? If this movie is exactly what the writer envisioned, then I want to have another conversation with them.
Yeah, she had complete creative control, and she just was like, first draft, here we go.
This is great.
I don't want to
really, to me,
poo-poo
I
on
just sold
someone's
it.
writing, because I love writing, and it's hard to write, and...
It is. That's another thing I want to say. They have a movie, we don't.
Right, so I
Right,
don't want to
that's
be
true.
like, this is
Right.
terrible. You guys should still watch it, because it's a fun time for all the wrong reasons, but...
To me, what this is someone's like, I really liked Bridesmaids.
Right.
Can I do Bridesmaids, but as a holiday movie? If this was like someone said, hey, this is my Bridesmaid fan film, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're going for, because you got the sincere moments, and then you have the ridiculous poop humor and sex humor.
Right.
Yeah.
But the movie, I think it's just tonally, the movie is it's two different, like you said, Doug, this is just 2 different movies, and they should have either made it all raunchy or all rom-com, but they are in this weird, uncali rom-com valley, where
Yeah.
it's not really a good rom-com, it's also not a great comedy, it's a mediocre both.
Does anybody else think that Kristen Chenoweth just kind of stumbled onto the movie set one day, and they were like,
Feels like
all
it.
right, let's roll the camera. Go ahead.
It
Sure
feels like
does. Sure
yeah.
feels like it a lot of times.
It's like, Doug, you are right. Really feels like, Kristen, you're on set. Okay, now did you read the script? No. All right, let's go. And cause she's just saying stuff. I mean,
I love
and doing
Kristen
things-
Chenoweth, but I feel like that's her in everything. It's like, Kristen, we're rolling. Oh, sorry.
It did come across that she had a lot of lines that were just kind of like, what?
I love her whole monologue at 4th of July. I mean, like, I hate it. It's one of those things where it's like, oh my god, what are you talking about? But where she's talking about, like, they're like, why are they so obsessed with explosives? And it's like, because they have penises.
Oh, that. Yes, that. Okay, yeah.
It's like, what?
I
Yeah,
think
and so when they're setting off explosives, that's them off? Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like,
I think if they
And it was
took
like,
out the
'cause-
raunchy humor, this movie would be better.
what holidays had they gone on? They had gone on New Year's.
Valentine's
Um,
Day.
St. Patrick's. No, they didn't do Valentine's Day. They didn't go. They met each other on Valentine's Day, but they didn't do a holiday.
Yeah.
They ran into each other because she ran into her ex,
Oh, right.
and then he saved. And then he saved her. That's his. I think that's supposed to be his like, you like this guy moment, but it's framed very odd because then he asked for a hand job in the parking lot.
Which then they make you think they have. Are actually,
Which then I'm just like, what were they doing? Because like they frame it like they were, but then it's just like she was organizing the chocolate on his lap. I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, that's what I must have blocked this.
Oh no,
part
yeah,
out.
this is whole scene, which is
This is why you should have rewatched.
I think
it,
I remember
because-
that because I was like, because that's after that's relatively close to the infamous Christmas bad date
yeah, because
scene.
that
So
opens,
it's like that,
yeah,
and then
opens
it's
the
like,
movie.
all right, they've already established this is a vulgar movie. I wouldn't be surprised if this is going on in the car right now. Nope, they're just rearranging chocolate.
Yeah, I'm so confused as to what they were like. What were they trying to? What were they doing to justify that action and noises?
Like that seemed like a joke for the sake of it being a joke and no context.
It was. It was one of those
Yeah.
things where it's like, if you're gonna do that, you need to justify it somehow.
Right.
No.
Like if you're gonna do a bait and switch, the switch has to be clever.
Right.
And I don't quite understand. What's the point of the? I still don't understand the point of them getting so drunk on Cinco de Mayo that they switch clothes, but maybe or maybe don't sleep together. Like, I don't know.
That was another one that was confusing, where it was just they had gotten so drunk. Oh, because during their entire conversation of Cinco de Mayo, they were talking about sex.
Yeah, and then it's like,
And like
yeah,
he and like she discovered that he was still sleeping with people, and she had not for however long.
well, that's right.
I think since Luke, who's her ex.
Oh god,
Luke.
Luke.
I love when he runs into her in I love when she runs into him on Valentine's Day, and he looks so confused.
Right.
Like every shot of him is just utter confusion, and it's like, what are you confused about? You ran into your ex, like buying chocolates on Valentine's Day. What's confusing?
Okay.
I very much enjoyed the Jackson line at the choir all sings at the end.
One thing that's positive about the movie, it has a nice good spread of POCs as characters.
A good thing that I will say is that I liked when they do the tender moments. They are very well done. Like her giving the dress, her giving her dress, and him washing her in the bathtub. They're very well done.
It really touches upon a lot of holidays. If you like holidays,
Yeah, that's true.
If you're into holidays, there's a lot to choose from. They don't
you-
just do the standard ones.
Would you, considering there's so many holidays, would you consider this a Christmas movie or no?
Not really. It ends at
No.
Christmas, right? It starts at Christmas and ends
Starts
at
and
Christmas?
starts and ends at Christmas.
It was marketed as a holiday movie, right? So like I guess I automatically
Believe so.
assume holiday means the holidays as in like the Christmas season, but I guess in this case it just means holiday in general. It could be any holiday, but I think it was marketed as a Christmas holiday movie.
I think it was marketed as Christmas, but I don't think it is.
I wouldn't say. I mean, I would say if you go into this with the thought that it's going to be like a Hallmark Christmas holiday movie, you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, this
It's
is
not- it's not what it
is.
It's a wonderful night here.
When I watched it, I did go into that, and that's why I was so like angry.
All right.
Then when I
so-
watched it the second time, I knew what I was getting into, and I was like, I actually enjoyed this a little bit more.
Would you recommend this movie to anybody? Shane says no.
No.
The problem with this is that it's a very specific audience that I would recommend it to. Anyone? No. To that specific audience? Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go with what Shane and Doug said, is in that I would recommend it to a select group of people who I think they would, maybe have some interesting discussion about it afterwards. Like we made poor Shane watch it so we could have this discussion.
We did recommend it to Shane.
You did recommend it to me, and it was as terrible as I thought, as you guys said.
I mean, I would recommend it to someone, but with the preface of it's a terrible movie. So I wouldn't recommend it. Be like, hey, mom and dad, I think you really would like this. So what would we rate the Holidate, Doug?
I'll give it a 7.
Okay, Shane.
Okay. 4.5.
Renda.
I was also going to give it a 4.
Originally, I was going to give it a lower number. Seeing how much I talk about this movie to other people, I would give it a 5. It's not painful. It's just not good. Well, thanks, everyone. Let us know in the comments what movies you want us to talk about. And what is your favorite holiday movie? And we'll be back next time for more. Wave goodbye!
Bye-bye!
Bye!